What's up, guys? This is Ray and welcome to Asian Filmist, and today we'll be talking about the 2006 Japanese film Kamome Diner, directed by Ogigami Naoko and starring Kobayashi Satomi. Before we get started, I just want to say that I think one of the most interesting points of Kamome Diner is that it takes place exclusively in Finland, which is unlike many Japanese films, to be taking place outside of Japan. So I think that alone is a unique point about this movie. And so the story of Kamome Diner, it stars, as I said, Kobayashi Satomi, and her character's name is Sachie. And Sachie, she lives and works in Finland. She actually runs her own restaurant, and her restaurant is quite small. It only has one regular customer, this local dude who's just a big enthusiast about anything Japan and Japanese culture. He even tries to practice Japanese with Sachie. But the thing is, he only orders coffee, and Sachie actually doesn't charge him for coffee because her idea is that because he is their very first customer, he's gonna get free coffee for life, and so she's just set with that decision. And so business is slow, but along the way she meets two other Japanese women who are traveling through Finland, Midori and Masako, and they're both in Finland for their own reasons. And actually, no one in this trio has a set date as far as how long they're going to be staying in Finland. So this prompts the two ladies, Midori and Masako, to basically help Sachie with her restaurant. So they become part-time help, if you will. And so these three Japanese women together experience life and adventure in this foreign country. So if I were to classify this movie in a sort of genre, I would say it's definitely closest to being a slice of life movie. It's definitely not a drama. It at parts can be a comedy, but it's definitely more of a slice of life film. So let's get down to the positives. First of all, I love the performances by the three lead actresses and their characters. I think each of the three characters were unique and likable in their own way. And, they had their own distinct personalities. Like Sachie, she's kind of the strong, serious type. She's kind and gentle and kind of very welcoming and very warm. And then you have Midori, who's I think she's the tallest out of the trio, but she's definitely the most awkward. And, she kind of fidgets around a little bit, but she's definitely the roughest when it comes to the way she speaks her words and her mannerisms. And we have Masako, who's kind of the gentle and polite kind of soul, and she's very relaxed in the sense that she always is like, is that right? Kind of speaks in that kind of tone. And these three characters are definitely they're unique. They're definitely unique from each other. And I think it's easy to like these characters for everything that they do. And I think my favorite character was definitely Sachie. I mean, just because I enjoy watching Kobayashi Satomi in the movies that she stars in. And this one is no exception. And plus, to top it all off, there are numerous scenes that feature Kobayashi Satomi speaking Finnish. Well, I don't know how legit good her pronunciation is, but for someone who is untrained in the language, such as myself, it sounds convincing enough. But I think just the fact that she's speaking foreign language in this movie, and she's speaking in not just one sentence at a time, but actually having full-on conversations with it, that's definitely a plus for me. And something I thought that was interesting is this kind of enigma, if you will, this kind of mysterious, very vague reasoning why the three ladies are in Finland to begin with. Like every time someone asks Sachie what she's doing in Finland, she always has a different story to tell. And then you don't really know why the other two women are coming through Finland. Well, you kind of know most about why Masako is visiting Finland, but you don't really have an idea for anyone else. I think that's interesting for what the mood this movie is trying to build up. Because the way I kind of interpret the whole reasoning behind that is because, like the past, it's like everyone is trying to not escape per se, but just kind of move in a direction opposite of their past and try to start their own new adventure. And that's why it seems like these three women are in Finland together. And and not just that, but the story is also very whimsical in a way, in the sense that they're enjoying this adventure. They're not really bothered to care about the kind of stuff that's going on back home, or even they're not even in a rush to go back to Japan, and they're kind of just taking their time, going at their own pace. And I dig that about this. I think it works very well for this movie. And with the characters, not only do they have amazing chemistry with each other, but their personalities fit the writing of the story very well. And speaking of chemistry, something I enjoyed immensely is there were a lot of long takes that captured just the characters talking and interacting with each other. The camera just sits in one place and the characters just have at it. They're talking, they're discussing the different recipes. After all, they're working in a restaurant. They're discussing about each other's lives. And, I don't know how much of this dialogue is ad-lib, but it seems so organic and so natural, the way they just kind of go on. And every single actress is really into the character. They never drop character or seem out of place. Everything just blends well together. And not only the dialogue, but also the way all the scenes were framed, the way each of the characters were positioned in the frame, the cinematography behind it all, it was enjoyable. And when it comes to the food, of course, this is a movie centered around food and just the whole concept of dining. I thought the food was quite appetizing. I mean, Sachi kind of starts off with this concept with a restaurant that she wants to introduce to the Finns onigiri or rice balls, because she calls onigiri Japanese soul food. I don't know about that, but onigiri is definitely a food that everyone enjoys in Japan. This is a food you can have anytime. And she wants to introduce something like that to the locals. And along the way, she learns how to make more recipes, or rather she experiments with more recipes, different types of cookings, different types of meals, and even learns how to make a better cup of coffee with a local Finnish charm. And I think just the way the story progresses in that, it's cute. It's cute and it's lovely. And just when you see more and more customers come into the restaurant, I think it just makes your heart full. And I especially dig the design of the restaurant itself. Because like the kitchen is in full view, right in front of the table. There's no glass separating the cook Sachie and the guests who come into the restaurant. It definitely gave a homemade kind of vibe. As far as the negatives are concerned, I don't really have much to say negative-wise. I have little to nothing at all. But if I had to really say something, is that sometimes it just felt a little too whimsical, or even a little too peaceful at times, in the sense that there weren't really any scenes with a huge amount of tension, with a huge amount of drama. It just kind of started and ended with a smile. Like pretty much every scene was like that. There was probably one scene where that had some kind of dramatic focus, but it didn't really stay much in that realm. For the most part, it ended in a happy way. But then the more I think about it, I think if they had scenes that had a lot of tension and a lot of drama, it would definitely kind of flip the story on its head and make it seem just inconsistent, if you will. Like, I think the movie works well, just being the whimsical soul that it is. So overall, what did I have to say about Kamome Diner? Well, it's an adorable movie about characters living, having an adventure in a foreign land and finding camaraderie in each other and experiencing life together. And their home base is this quaint diner, and just seeing Sachi prepare everything from start to finish. And even when she starts experimenting with a Japanese recipe by using local ingredients, local meats, local vegetables, it's fun. It's appetizing, most definitely. And fun characters make the viewing experience well worth it. And when the food comes out, everyone just comes together, and it's just a fun time to enjoy. But yes, those are my thoughts on Kamome Diner. By all means, please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you really dig my content, please know that you can support Asia Filmist through Patreon by donating as little as $1. Thanks again, guys, and I hope to catch you all again in the next video. Take it easy.